Good evening, and welcome to Tuck in Bed, the podcast where our drag artists take you into their dreams, share their nighttime tales, and give you the midnight gossip. Tucking you into bed tonight is star of Drag Race Down Under and Drag Race Canada vs. the World, Anita Wigl'it. Turn down the lights, grab a nightcap, close your eyes, and listen up. Everyone in the world, she's here. Are you ready for your queen? It's Miss Anita Wigl'it reporting from the UK today. Welcome to Tuck in Bed, Anita. How are you today?
Hello, I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honour to be on your show. And as it's called, Tuck in Bed, I'm actually currently lying in bed at the moment, which is wonderful.
Well, I hope it's a perfect place to start some dreams, because that's my first question. You've done Drag Race Down Under, and you've just come off of Canada versus the World. So what would be a dream come true now for Anita Wigl'it?
A dream come true for me? Well, I think it would be two things. It's a two-part answer. When I started drag, I got inspired by Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, the musical. And it was I worked at the theatre in New Zealand as an usher. And the first big musical I worked on was Priscilla, and I fell in love with the character of Bernadette, who was played by this Australian actor who had played the role in the West End and also on Broadway, Tony Sheldon. And he played Bernadette, and my dream in life is to play that role one day. So I would love to do that, and it kind of coincides with my other dream. I'd love to do, because I was born in England, so I'd love to come back, and I'd love to do some sort of season of a show, like a pantomime or whatever in the UK. So I don't know, maybe like Priscilla the musical in the UK.
Oh wow, Anita as a pantomime dame would be absolutely incredible. I would pay to see that any day of the week.
Literally, you know what's so funny? I was at the Isle of Man yesterday, and I walked into a shop with Lawrence Cheney, and the guy behind the counter goes, "You two look like two pantomime dames."
The Isle of Man of all places. Were you in full drag during the time when he said that to you?
No, both of us out of drag. It was so funny.
Well, that man must be very perceptive, or maybe just a secret drag race lover.
His intuition was amazing. Probably had a full collection of RuPaul upstairs in his attic.
And speaking of your experience on Canada versus the World recently, what made you say yes to going on the show again? And did it live up to your expectations? Was it a bit of a dream come true, or not so much?
Well, I was very lucky on Drag Race Down Under Season 1. I made it halfway through that competition again, but I was really lucky that I kind of, on paper, was sort of winning the competition at the point when I went home. I'd sort of won a challenge, I'd been to the top, and I'd was safe for another one. So I was doing really well. So when I got the opportunity to go back again, I thought, now's my time to snatch that crown and to kind of show the world that I'm capable of winning a competition. And then when I went on the show, it was quite interesting because it was almost like the opposite was true. I mean, I spent the last sort of 12 years of my life working as a professional drag queen, and the last sort of 3 years or so full-time. And so when I went on the show, I thought, you know what, Anita? This is yours. But it was almost the opposite, because I just couldn't impress the judges on anything I did. And I think it was more being a Canadian one, more of the North American style, which is sort of your more pageant queens and your jump splits and things like that, which definitely isn't me. But I went over there and I had so much fun doing it. If you can entertain an audience, then you've already won. So I feel like I've been successful.
Oh, that's really good to hear. So you would say it was a good experience in general then?
Absolutely. I think in life, God, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's all about the experiences you have while doing it. And then if you look at all those things like American Idol and all those things, it's always the winner's never the one that continues.
Oh, that's so true. You don't need to win the crown to have a carve out a successful drag career. You've got queens like Shangela on Dancing with the Stars. You've got Katya doing a world tour. You've got Yuha Hamasaki on YouTube doing amazingly well for herself. Tace with her Heinz Beans commercials, Bimini with her fantastic fashion career.
Yeah, Angela Cram, all of them. They're so amazing. It's hard in a competition because everybody's so opinionated on their own style of drag and what they like to see. And also, in a competition like Drag Race, as wonderful as it is, it's sort of things that we don't really do to entertain our audiences day in day out. So I'm really looking forward to now traveling around the UK and indeed the world and sort of entertaining people with my own brand of drag, which is hopefully what people want to see.
That's the spirit. What would you say is your style of drag?
My style of drag, I'd have to say, is definitely, well, at the core of it, I'm extremely sexually attractive, and I think that goes to show, and that's what people expect to see from me, really. I think definitely ridiculous comedy, but in comedy in sort of like a outrageous kind of not serious way at all. I just love being silly, really, and I love taking people along with me on a silly journey, and I love doing that in my shows. And I feel like my drag is designed to make people laugh. I feel there's so many bad things that go on in the world, and of course there's good things too, but my drag, I just love to give people some escapism and make them laugh a little bit.
Yeah, and perhaps maybe different styles of drag work better for different versions of the show. How would you say your experience on Canada versus the World compared to your time on Down Under? There's a lot of differences. You know, you've got Brooklyn on Canada versus the World versus RuPaul. Now Michelle Visage, the elimination format is different. How would you say those things compare to you?
Well, I think it's a very cool sort of way of doing a game show that the winner gets to decide who to boot off the competition, and I really enjoy that kind of way that works. I think it's got a real excitement for it, and as a viewer, I think it makes the show very exciting. But it's interesting. I feel like. I think that RuPaul, obviously, and Michelle are excellent judges, and Brooklyn, Brad, and Tracy.
I feel that RuPaul really got my style of drag because it's sort of comedy and pantomime-y, and I think that Ru really loves that old school classic kind of drag where you can be silly and ridiculous and really appreciates that. Whereas Brooklyn, I think, is more sort of about fashion and about looking glamorous on the pageants because she's so gorgeous, and I think she came from a dancing background, so kind of wants to see this kind of diva, which of course is totally valid, but I feel that I fit much more into Ru's kind of alignments of what she likes in drag, whereas in Brooklyn, I'm not really a dancer, unfortunately, you could probably tell, and I'm not really like a pageant queen. So, yeah, I think those are the differences. Both are super valid, but both are quite different.
So you mentioned fashion, and in my introduction of you, I used the lyrics from your lines from Bonjour High. And I'm curious, you and your team with Rita Baga and Victoria Scone, you were very in sync with your fashion. You looked perfectly aligned. Was that planned or was that serendipity?
We were so lucky. It wasn't planned at all. We just turned up and we had our we had to bring a girl group pastel color, and luckily ours just matched so well.
I absolutely loved Bonjour High. I'm not sure if it's quite a bedtime song, but I find it such an earworm.
Oh,
and if anything, it keeps me awake at night. I've probably played Bonjour High probably 50 times already on Spotify. I'm sure it's going to be on my 2023 wrap. And in episode 2 of Canada versus the World, I believe you were the winner of one of the most unique reading challenges of all time of any series of Drag Race. And the reason for that is because you seem to be breaking the fourth wall in your confessionals. You and the other queens, you were acknowledging just how bad some of the jokes were. Why do you think that happened? And what was your experience on the show?
Yes, it was, gosh, it was so funny. For a read to work successfully, it really needs to be two-way. I think, obviously, there needs to be a joke, which, let's face it, not many of them had. And I think that what happened, because it was sort of week 2 and everyone was so sort of trying to impress, and so people kind of took them quite personally, and so the other person would almost argue back and be like, no, I don't, or oh, that's original, or things like that. And it was always like a really tough crowd. So I think that it was a little bit of not the funniest jokes, but or maybe no jokes at all. And then the crowd made it really tough.
Yeah, as a viewer, there seemed to be some discomfort as well. The jokes not really landing or being taken in jest, really. And I'm kind of reminded of when Lonnie Love responded to Utica in the bombed roast. You're the one bombing, and there wasn't quite that response to a read by the other queens in Canada versus the World. But still, I felt it was quite unique. I loved how you were self-aware in the confessionals. So it was quite enjoyable to watch still. Very unique.
Oh, no, I totally agree. We showed those uptight bitches how to do it.
So in just 3 episodes of Canada versus the World, you tackled some very iconic Drag Race challenges. You did the Girl Group Challenge, the Reading Challenge, Snatch Game, and the Ball. But what are some of the challenges that you haven't got to do that you would have really loved to have done?
The challenge that I would have loved to have done on either of my seasons is an acting challenge or a comedy sort of emceeing challenge. I feel like I would have done really well at those because that's kind of what I do day in, day out. The acting one I don't sort of do as much, but I really enjoy kind of developing silly characters and telling a story through another character. And then the comedy, I just love talking on a microphone. In fact, you can't shut me up. So I would have loved to have done one of those, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll get to do them on the show, or who knows, maybe otherwise. Maybe I'll be in a movie.
Ooh. Before we find out about Anita's nightmare experience in drag, give her some love by following her on Instagram and Twitter at Anita Wigl'it. Tuck in Bed is also on Instagram at Tuck in Bed Podcast and Twitter at Tuck in Bed. Now, get ready for more Anita Wigl'it. So we've talked about your dreams. Now let's focus on the nightmares. What are some of your nightmares that you've had in drag where things just haven't really gone so well?
In New Zealand being so much smaller, my kind of day in, day out is things like playing bingo at a office Christmas party and things like that. And so with that comes some horrific moments of audiences just having no idea what to do with the drag queen. And or sort of doing a hens party and they're so drunk that they don't know what's going on. I think what my biggest ones are is in New Zealand in the summer, it gets so hot, so melting, literally melting with your makeup falling off.
Oh dear, hot steamy drag. Was there a sweaty tuck as well?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I feel like I'm the Bain Marie dressed in drag. It's so hot and steamy. And the worst is sometimes you'll meet a lovely gentleman in drag, or back in the day I used to, and they would be kind of like, down for a little bit of action, and you kind of have to explain to them that I know I may look like a beautiful, well put together woman, but unfortunately things have moved during tonight's in-flight entertainment, and it's not gonna smell as nice as it looks, I'm afraid.
Well, you never know, it could be some people's thing, diving into that sweaty tub.
And I will pray for them every day.
Oh, hello. It's me again. Are you all relaxed? It would be a dream come true if you could give Tuck in Bed a positive review wherever you get your podcasts. Or, if this has been a nightmare experience, give us some feedback at tuckinbedpod@gmail.com. So I hope you're feeling very relaxed, Anita, because now we're going to find out your sleep style in a quick quiz.
Oh, okay.
So your first question is, what is your ideal sleep schedule? Is it A, tucked in early and up before sun? B, up until your eyelids fall, mornings hitting the snooze button? C, you'll have to ask your body because it changes like the weather? Or D, anywhere you can, anytime you can?
Oh, I think I'm like an L. I love sleeping, but I think I'm probably an anytime, anywhere. I can sleep literally any place.
Oh, especially after a big performance, right?
Oh, absolute. As long as there's no man trying to enter my drag tight swimming pool.
The stench of it all.
Oh gosh, that's the real winning of being a drag performer.
Okay, question 2. Finish this sentence. Sleep is A, the best part of the day, B, something you'll do much later, C, complicated, or D, easy peasy, a non-issue.
Oh, I think D, easy peasy, non-issue.
Ooh, a fellow lover of sleep. Perfect. So, question 3. What is on your nightstand? Is it A, essential oils and a good book, B, a laptop, tablet, books, gaming controller and sketchpad, C, tea mug, sleep mask, earplugs, white noise and melatonin, or D, a lamp and a water glass?
Oh, I think definitely A, as an essential oil.
Ooh, nice. A bit of a diffuser going on. What essential oil would you use?
Well, I've always been fond of an olive oil, personally.
Oh, nice. Olive oil in the bedroom. I think you might be cooking something up.
Yeah, I know. Can't slip and slide.
Yeah, right. Next up, question 4. Your favourite musician is playing a late show nearby. You A, stream a live album while taking a hot bath. B, go to the show and go out afterward. C, go, but know your sleep will be wrecked. Or D, nap during the opener.
Probably D again.
Oh, you like your sleep, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. And the
You're a
opportunity.
perfect first guest for Tuck in Bed. Let's move on to question 5. What best describes your energy level? Is it A, alert in the morning but dragging by nightfall? B, revved after dinner and gone come morning? C, a constant ebb and flow? Or D, energy? What's that?
Probably C, a constant ebb and flow, because I think that's probably why I need so much sleep all the time, because I'm always really energetic, but there'll be sort of up and down moments. So so if I'm on a plane, for example, that's when I can kind of get my down moment, have a little nap and refuel. So I think a bit of an ebb and flow.
We're almost there in finding your sleep style. Question 6. You're on a long flight. You A, booked the early bird morning plane, B, opted for the red eye, C, are prepped for major jet lag upon arrival, or D, fell asleep before takeoff.
Falling asleep before takeoff, definitely.
Oh, perfect. It's always great when you can get some sleep on the plane. Are you suffering from any jet lag right now since you're in the UK?
Now, I've had 4 nights in the UK now, and I'm pretty much in the time zone.
Oh, good stuff. You'll be sleeping like a baby. All right, last question. What is the first thing you do when you wake up? Is it A, work out, B, groan, snooze and repeat, C, shower, or D, chug coffee?
Oh, my favourite thing now is a coffee. So I think that the coffee.
Ooh, nice. What's your coffee of choice?
I'm a cappuccino kind of girl. I don't know what a cappuccino has in it, but it sounds so fancy.
Ooh, very fancy indeed. Very Italian.
Yeah, I thought it was French. That goes to show me what I know.
So here's your result. You are a sleep slayer.
Oh, a slayer. Oh.
Yeah, it's perfect really. You slay the competition, just like in drag. It also says you're a bear chronotype, so perhaps you've got a hairy secret man inside of you.
I like that.
It says here you can fall asleep sitting up, and you have many times. A blaring TV, a bedmate who snores, city lights streaming in your window, a baby wailing on the airplane seat. None of these are a problem, you say. You can nod off anywhere, anytime. Would you say that's accurate or totally off the mark?
Oh, it's so accurate.
Oh, see, this quiz is genius.
Wow, well done. Oh, I feel like I've won Drag Race.
Well, you are a winner. You're the queen of sleep now.
Yay! Move over, Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah, exactly. Eat your heart out, Jinx Monsoon. Okay, deep breath. So now it's time for a quiet space, where Anita is going to tell us what's going on in her life.
Oh, well, so as I said, I'm currently on tour in the UK, so I'm doing a Club Kids Christmas tour, which I'm so excited for because I get to travel around the UK and meet all of the amazing people here. And so I've only done one show so far, and I've got another 10 on this sort of leg of the tour. And then they go to Montreal for Christmas, where we're doing a little show there, soon to be announced, but we'll let you know, it'll be our secret. And then I've got DragCon UK, which will be my first ever DragCon in January. And then I go to Perth in Australia because I'm starting a tour of my solo show, which I've done in New Zealand before. It's called Funny Girl, which is the story of my life. So it's sort of over, depending on the version, either an hour or almost a 2-hour show. And it's a comedy show about the good things and the bad things that have happened to me, but that have shaped me to be the person that I am today. And so I start in Perth, and I basically travel through Australia, and I've got various other little bits and pieces, and that takes me through to almost halfway through the year.
Oh, nice. You're very busy. Is Funny Girl related to the Barbra Streisand film?
It is. So, The Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand, my favourite movie. And I always thought it was sort of, we had a similarity in that movie because she's obviously playing Fanny Bryce, the comedian. And actually, RuPaul said to me that I remind Ru of a young Fanny Bryce, which was the biggest compliment I've ever had. And so, in the story Funny Girl, for those who haven't seen it, it's this amazing comedian, and everyone loves her on stage, and she's so popular and brilliant. But she's brilliant because she's not like the others. She's not beautiful traditionally, and she has quite a tough time at home, and she's got some bad things going on, but she still goes on stage and she presents herself and she entertains people, and that's kind of, and I always felt such a kindred sort of feeling for Fanny Bryce and then Barbra Streisand in that movie, and so I decided to name my show after that, but spelt with a U for girls, so GURL, so I can get around the copyright, and I just love doing it. It's so much fun.
Oh, awesome. Do you sing during your Funny Girl performance?
I don't in this one, but I do play the trumpet.
Wow, trumpet playing. I'm guessing, is that from your Navy days?
It is indeed, yes. I used to play the trumpet for a living, and I always used to say that I used to blow during the day, and as a drag queen, I'd blow at night. But you've got to get your money somehow, so it worked well for me.
Oh, well, you just come full circle.
Literally. Emphasis on come full circle.
Yeah, you must make a perfect pearl necklace.
Absolutely. How did you know?
Oh, well, I'm really excited for everything that you've got coming up, and actually I'm going to be at your Shantae You Slay show in Sheffield on the 21st.
Oh, yay! I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, and then I'll also be at DragCon.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, well, twice.
Yeah, twice. It's almost like I'm stalking you.
Oh, please do. We all need we all need at least one good one.
Oh, well, I hope I'm a good stalker. I hope I'll do them justice.
Thank you.
Well, now that we've covered stalking, it's time to move on to our final segment, which is the bedtime lullaby. And Anita, what is your absolute favourite song to do a lip sync to?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one because there's so many that I love. But my current favourite, I have to say, one from my solo show, and one I'm not sadly doing in the UK this time, but watch this space, is none other by the Welsh iconic singer Shirley Bassey, and that is the song Goldfinger.
Nice, a James Bond classic, Goldfinger.
Finger. Although with me it should be called Brown Finger, let's face it, but we're not allowed to do it for the kids.
Yeah, very dirty performance. Oh, well, thank you so much, Anita, for being an amazing first guest on Tuck in Bed. And now it's time for Anita to tuck you in bed, dear listener.
Well, I wish you peaceful dreams. May they be slightly arousing, and may the monster not get your nibble on your toes unless you're into it. Good night.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Tuck in Bed. If you're not asleep yet, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Tuck in Bed Podcast or Twitter at Tuck in Bed. You can email us at tuckinbedpod@gmail.com. Sleep tight and don't let the drag queen bite. Unless you're into it.